Hello, good morning, and this is Tank and Trucker. Know it's been a long time, guys, since I made a video. I apologize. Long story short, woke up about 3 months ago and couldn't feel my right hand from basically the wrist down. Wouldn't move from the wrist down at all. They thought I had a stroke. Come to find out, better grab your medical term book because I ended up having something called radial nerve palsy. Um, it's not really that uncommon, I guess. I guess people can get it if they party real hard, get really hammered, pass out with their arm leaning on something, and it damages the nerve, the radial nerve in your arm, and then it quits working. Normally, on a person that happens to, um, they actually call it like Saturday night palsy or something. But somebody that happens to like that, usually they lose the loss of their hand for a couple days. They get back feeling and within a week and back to normal within a week. But somebody like myself who was very unlucky, I went to bed, woke up the next day, and I ended up going to the hospital. Stayed there for a fun-filled week of adventure and MRIs and CAT scans, and they found that I had two vertebrae in my neck that somehow I had damaged, which in turn pinched off that nerve, which in turn damaged it enough. I guess the nerve has like a sheath around it, and it pinched it off enough to where it damaged it pretty good. And so it's been going on about 3 months now, and I'm just really starting to get used to my hand back about 2 weeks ago, and so unfortunately, I can't play tanks one-handed. Believe me, I tried. I really tried. Um, I would kind of move the tank around as best I could with my right hand, then I would do the zooming in with my left hand, and yeah, it gets really gets kind of to be a headache and just not worth it, and your stats start going down. So I figured I'd best just not playing it or touching it until everything's better. But it's about, I'd say, 90, 85, 90% healed up. They said if it didn't start healing up after about 2 months, month and a half actually, that it probably wasn't going to heal and they were going to have to do a complete nerve removal where they take my nerve out and they make an incision from the back of your neck all the way down to your wrist. Pull the nerve out, and then they take a nerve from a cadaver. Yep, you heard me right, from a dead person. And they replace it, put it in me, and sew you back up, and hopefully the nerve will start firing and get back to normal, and that's 6 to 8 months of recovery time. But lucky enough, friend had me, stop using the brace and quit babying it so much, and I really was pushing it and started working again. So I think with the help of my friend there, it kind of was better off. So, anyways, I wanted to make a video and start with the 4502B, OSIF B. A while back, they did a nice how can I put this armor buff on it, and still got the same gun, but the lower plate and the upper plate basically have the same frontal armor now. I believe it's supposed to be, it's 250. Don't quote me, but I think it's around 250. And the thing, if you shoot that in the upper plate or lower plate, I mean, I've hit it point blank with my Grill 15 in the lower plate and bounced. I mean, literally, my gun was touching his lower plate and it bounced. Um, it is a pain in the butt to pen this thing from the front. Your best bet, to be honest with you, it's got the E75 turret. Go for that commander's cupola. Go for the edges of the front of the turret, and you should be able to go through there. Obviously, if you get the side, no problem. Rear, no problem. It's just that front, upper and lower glacis are just, they really did a good buff on it. I'll give them that. Wish they'd have buffed the gun's pen a little bit. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and run a match in here. It'll be my first video since my hand has gotten good enough to be able to play tanks again, so try not to laugh if I make stupid mistakes. Still not 100%, and it's getting there, though. Man, let's give this a run and see what we can do. So it's I'm in a tier 9, tier 10 match. Matchup looks pretty fair. But this one here, I'm going to head up to the hill, see what I can do. Nice thing is there's no artillery, so I don't have to worry about having arty shells drop on my head. Actually, their team's actually substantially better than ours. So we got a couple people with some real low stats, 286 win 8 and a 307 win 8. But, you know, everybody's got a good day and a bad day. So hopefully the guys on our team that had a lower stats have a real good day today. You know, you just never know. I mean, I've had actually good and bad days like everybody else. Actually had a bad last 3 months with my hand. The hard part for me is zooming in and still having good control of the tank because my index finger and my thumb are still really weak. I mean, literally, when you get this issue, problem, whatever you want to call it, it's like your hand is there. You can see it. You can look right at it. You can just try and make it do whatever you want it to do. You can say, move, finger, move, and it doesn't do anything. Literally will not move. It's like just having a piece of meat hanging off your wrist. It's a real bummer. You know, it makes me really open my eyes to people that are handicapped to the point where, you know, they don't have use of their hands or their arms. It was hard for me just getting dressed in the morning. I mean, try buttoning your pants or putting your zipper up or whatever with one hand. It's not any fun, I'll tell you that. I'm actually going to cut over this way. Looks like our 54E1's up there trying to mess with that 1390, so at least it's an autoloader versus an autoloader. We might just get the hill pretty easy here. Looks like their T-30 is camping base, which is good because he's got one of the biggest guns on their team over there. One thing I really wish they would have buffed on this is the darn engine. Holy smokes! As you can see, it's a heavy, and it moves slow. It looks like my team's chewing that patent up there, so that's nice. T10 heading up the hill. That patent will probably be dead. Oh, the E5. 103, yeah, their big stuff's getting up there now, so hoping I can get up there in time to help them. Normally I just use standard rounds on with this, but I'm gonna load some gold for the E5. Trust me, I've got one. That thing is like a super tank now. It's so hard to pen that thing, even in the commander's cupola, which is normally your weak spot. Now it's not quite so weak. God, their whole team went hell. I'm going to try getting up here to help them, but I think it's going to be too late. Yeah, heck, I'm lit and I'm not even... Yeah, I'm going to start backing back down the hill. Get a nice hit on that 57 heavy. Our team's getting just mangled up there. Pull back up here. Come on. Move. Gold round and a 103's frontal turret, and it doesn't go through. I gotta get that E5 starting to pop out. That's not good. We need to get him in the lower plate if we can. Bounce. IS-7 just bounced off me. I'm gonna keep backing up. Now this is not gonna end good. They're really pushing hard. The E5 again. Gold rounds. I'm hitting the E5 with gold rounds in his front plate and bouncing. Oh no, that E4 is not looking good. Yeah, our team just got melted. I'm not even... I'm going to keep backing up and hopefully draw them to our team. That's all our heavies stayed right on the base. They're hiding. Yeah, I'm getting chewed up here in just about 2 seconds. Ain't gonna last much longer. Try and get rid of the C4, mess him up a little more. Yeah, I'm not even gonna use my repair kit. Not even worth it. They're starting to shoot me in the back. I'm gonna be dead here in a second. Of course, my last shell in the 57 Heavy's lower plate doesn't do anything. But You can see I bounced 4,570 damage with the front of this thing. The shots that were easily that went through me were obviously in the side and the rear, but the 57 heavy bounced 1, 2, 3, 3 shells off me. IS-7 bounced a couple. 111-14 bounced off me. The T-110E4 bounced 1, 2. Looks like 2 off me. E5 bounced a bunch off me. Unfortunately, I only got 5 shells to penetrate. I was a little disappointed because I was hitting a couple, like the 57 heavy. Hit him in the lower plate and bounce. T110E3, or excuse me, M103, I was bouncing off him. Should have been able to pen him, no problem. Like I said, normally I wouldn't stick gold rounds in here, but when you see their whole team coming hill, and you want every round to penetrate, and still, even with gold rounds, I wasn't penetrating. If our E5, E75, T30, if some of our bigger guns would have been smart and come over there where I was, we'd probably still have a fighting chance, but unfortunately they all stayed at base, camped, and now look what's happening. They're just getting tore up too. I didn't realize it, but there's a guy from my clan on the enemy team, the M46 Patton from Rots. That's my clan. I didn't even see him over there. I'll have to say what's up. I didn't even see him in TeamSpeak. He's probably just got on to play. I'll have to go see if I can find him after this match and BS with him and say, "What's up, man?" Yeah, he just noticed. He just said, "Hey." I'll tell him we let him have that match. We felt bad for their team. They actually won that very, very well played on their part. Unfortunately, our team decided they were all going to try. The big tanks decided they were going to camp base, and it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work very well when the big guns stay at base and your mediums and a couple of the heavies go uphill and just get tore up pretty bad. But let's just take a peek at the after action review here. So the T110E4 bounced 3 shells off me, and that thing's got a wicked gun. I mean, wicked. Average damage is 750, and it's got super good pen. I mean, I've got one. I'm gonna look. T110E4, where are you? E3, E5, 5, 230, 57. Oh, there it is. So let's just take a peek at the penetration. I believe he was shooting me with standard rounds. I don't think he was shooting me with any gold. Let's get that out of the way, and let's get this out of here. So, T110E4 penetration. 295 pen, standard round. 375 on gold, which is APCR, which y'all know I love. But still, 295 pen on a standard round. Tank destroyer. Average damage is 750. Couldn't go through the front of me. He bounced 3 shells off me. E5 bounced a shell off me. That's got great pen. 57 heavy, not the best pen in the world, but they nerfed the pen because it's got an auto loader. Most people I know when they play the 57 heavy sling gold because if you're gonna have an auto loader with 4 shells, you got a 20-some second load time. You want definitely that first magazine to pen. That way, if you get tore up, at least you did over 1,000 damage with your first magazine. But yeah, I'm sorry, the E4 bounced 2 off me. I was looking at the damage I did to him. Knocked out his tracking his gunner. Hit him 3 times. I think I actually shot him 4, but 111-14 bounced off me. The gun on that's actually pretty good too. It's got decent penetration. I got 4th highest in damage, but the T30 Action X, those two stayed up. I believe the Yak Tiger stayed at base too, so they were probably shooting at the stuff that the guys that were up on the hill myself were lighting up. So obviously they're going to do more damage because they're sitting in the back doing nothing. So I had 8 shots, 8 hits, and only penned 4. I think the first round I shot was a standard round and it bounced. The rest were gold. So I bounced 4 gold shells. 1,849 damage. Not too bad, but not too good. But 4,570 damage bounced off me. I mean, I got hit 14 times. 9 of those shells bounced. 5 penned. Um, Phenomenal frontal armor on that thing. I mean, it is just. I love it. I just love the. I loved it before, but now they gave it that nice buff on the frontal armor, and obviously you can see how hard it is to pen this little rascal. But the mistake they made, and I'll go back and watch it again, but I can imagine, while the match was going on, most of the rounds they were hitting me with were hitting me right in the front, and that's the best part where you want them to hit you, is in that front upper, because they mistakenly shoot your lower plate thinking, I'll go right through it, and it bounces, or the upper plate just bounces. They'd have been better off. But at that distance, too, I got to give it to them. It's not that easy to hit this cupola and these, this little area right here. But once they got behind me, they went through the rear of this, no problem. Which obviously, any tank, the rear of the tank's going to be the weakest spot. But yeah, if you're getting close to the 4502B, I'm praying they don't nerf it. I imagine enough people will complain, like that match there, bouncing 4,500 damage. Enough people will complain and cry and whine, and then Wargaming will be like, oh, okay, well, we better nerf it again, and they'll take it back to the way it was, which, I mean, it wasn't a bad tank before, but it didn't bounce half as well, as it did before. I mean, before, they could hit you in the lower plate and they're going to pen you, but you can see from that match there, they had a heck of a time trying to get to the front of this. But anyways, this is Tank and Trucker. Hope you enjoyed the video. You guys be safe out there. Happy 4th of July. And I'll try getting into making videos again. It'll be slow at first. I just wanted to at least make this video because I still have, like I said, trouble zooming in and out. It's kind of shaky when I do zoom in and out. My hand's still not, like I said, 100%. But, I'll do what I can. You guys take it easy, and I'll see you in the battlefield.